8 years ago, I lost everything. My house, my savings, and my dignity. All gone because I couldn't see what was right in front of me. Like many of you watching this, I was that successful guy who thought he could fix a broken woman with love and money. Today, I'm going to share something different. Not just another women are evil rant, but real insights from someone who's been through hell and came back stronger. If you're constantly finding yourself being disrespected, manipulated, or financially drained in relationships, this isn't just bad luck, it's a pattern. And patterns can be broken. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly why smart, successful men keep falling into these traps, what the Stoics taught us about maintaining power in relationships, and most importantly, how to stop this cycle for good. This isn't pickup artist bullshit. This is hard-earned wisdom about understanding yourself, setting boundaries, and building genuine relationships without losing your soul or your savings account. Stay with me. Your future self will thank you. Let me break down exactly what I mean by patterns. When I was running my business, everything looked perfect on paper. Great income, respect from peers, the whole deal. But in relationships, total opposite. And here's what I discovered. Women don't lie, they demonstrate. Every single woman who later betrayed me showed her true colors in the first month. That expensive dinner where she casually mentioned how her ex still pays her bills? Red flag. Those dramatic stories about how all her exes were toxic? Massive red flag. That comment about how she's still emotionally attached to someone else? You guessed it. But here's the truth that took me years to learn. These women weren't the problem. They were simply playing their part in a dance I was leading. The Stoics had a saying, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The reality was right there, showing itself. I just chose to imagine a different story. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's exactly what's happening to me, good. Recognition is the first step toward change. So let me show you how this pattern actually works. A woman with red flags doesn't randomly pick her targets. Like a skilled investor, she looks for specific traits in men. And if you're getting manipulated repeatedly, you're displaying these traits like a billboard. First sign, being overly impressed by beauty. When you treat a woman's looks like they're your lottery ticket, you've already lost. I remember putting my ex on such a pedestal because she was stunning. Guess what? That pedestal became the very thing she used to look down on me. Second, fear of confrontation. Every time she crossed a line, I'd swallow my pride and keep quiet. Why? Because I thought keeping peace was more important than keeping respect. The Stoics teach us that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy, but they never said to be your enemy's doormat. Third, rewarding bad behavior. This was my biggest mistake. She'd disrespect me, I'd buy her gifts, she'd threaten to leave, I'd offer more security. I was literally training her to treat me worse. It's like paying a thief to rob you and expecting them to stop. The truth is, a woman doesn't start manipulating you because she's evil. She does it because you've shown her it's possible. You've demonstrated that your fear of losing her is greater than your self-respect. And in that equation, you'll always lose. Now, let's talk about solutions, but not the superficial just be confident advice you've heard a million times. Let's dig deeper into what actually works. The Stoics believe that the only thing we can control is ourselves. You can't control if a woman will try to manipulate you, but you can control how you respond. Here's your new playbook. First, establish clear boundaries from day one. When I started dating again, I made my non-negotiables clear immediately. No contact with exes, full financial transparency, respect for my time and space. If these boundaries were crossed, I didn't argue or negotiate. I simply withdrew my presence. Second, master emotional self-control. When you feel that panic of potentially losing her, stop. Ask yourself, am I acting from strength or fear? That moment of reflection has saved me countless times from making desperate decisions. Remember, it's better to be alone than to be someone's emotional punching bag. Third, build your value beyond your wallet. Start investing in yourself, your health, your knowledge, your social circle. When you have a rich life, you stop seeing relationships as your only source of fulfillment. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about becoming complete. The moment you truly internalize these principles, something magical happens. Women start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. And those who can't respect your boundaries, they filter themselves out before they can damage you. Here's where we dive into the psychology behind all this. Why do some men repeatedly fall into these toxic patterns? The answer often lies in our childhood, but this isn't about blaming our parents. If you grew up with inconsistent love, maybe a mother who was sometimes there, sometimes not, or who made you earn her affection, you've been programmed to see love as something you need to purchase, either with money or constant effort. Sound familiar? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This hits different when you understand your own patterns. Every time you tolerate disrespect, every time you try to buy affection, you're actually repeating childhood patterns. But here's the liberating truth. Understanding this doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And once you know better, you can do better. I had to learn that my worth wasn't in my wallet or in a woman's validation. Real freedom came when I realized that the very things that made me susceptible to manipulation, my generosity, my desire to help, my commitment, were actually strengths. They just needed to be directed toward the right person who values them. So here's the bottom line, and this might be the most important part of everything I've shared today. You can't change what happened in the past, but you can absolutely change what happens next. Remember, maintaining boundaries isn't about being tough or cold. It's about being clear and consistent. The right woman won't see your boundaries as restrictions. She'll see them as signs of self-respect. And a woman who respects herself will always respect a man who respects himself. The strongest relationships I see now? They're between people who don't need each other, but choose each other. Think about that. When you're complete on your own, you stop accepting scraps of affection and start building real connections. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Your value isn't in what you can give a woman. It's in what you can be as a man. Stop trying to buy love, stop trying to earn respect, and start embodying it. I'm living proof that this works. From losing everything to building something real, both in business and in love. The journey isn't easy, but it's worth every step. Hit subscribe if this resonated with you. Drop a comment about your own experience. And remember, the power to change your relationship patterns has always been within you. You just needed someone to remind you.